Hello everybody, Xanafar here, and today I am doing a review of episode 15 of the English dub of Ultraman Z. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the characters. Let's talk about Yuka. Yuka is the star of this episode, and she gets very excited about Ouroboros, and because she saw Ouroboros as a kid and heard about the legend because of her great grandmother. And you see how much this means to her, especially when she does see Ouroboros again, and she almost put Ouroboros back to sleep with finding an ancient artifact and using it to make a song, and it almost works, but Cerebro messed all that up, and she asks Ultraman Z to put Ouroboros down because he's in pain. We learned some things about her, like why she became a kaiju researcher. It's because what I said, she saw Ouroboros as a kid, and that fascinated her about kaijus ever since, and she wants to scuttle more kaijus. She is really good in this episode and really fun. So many funny scenes. I really enjoyed her. Now let's talk about Haruki. Haruki is with Yuka and he helps her out. And I really enjoyed this scene when he comforts her about her having self-doubt about trying to put Ouroboros to sleep and he gives her a pep talk. I really like that scene quite a lot. So Haruki in this episode is really good. Now let's talk about Cerebro. Cerebro is losing it because he don't have his Beteon medal and he wants it back really badly. And Cerebro makes 2 kaiju medals and fuses it with Ouroboros and torturing the poor kaiju. Cerebro is pretty good. It's interesting to see him freaked out and not have the Beteon medal no more. Now let's talk about the other characters. I like how Juggler caves in and let Yuka investigate the whole Ouroboros prophecy. And Yoko, I think it's pretty funny. She's like, I'm gonna pay out King Joe and let Haruki carry Yuka's bags because she knows Yuka needs somebody to carry her bag and she don't want to do it. I think that's pretty funny. The only thing though, Juggler gave her orders to be in King Joe and she doesn't appeal till the very end. What was she doing?
Oh, Ultraman Z.
Yoko. Hey, Yoko.
You're so dreamy.
King Joe.
Look at your
Yoko.
matches. Wow.
Yoko, I said get in King Joe.
Oh, shit.
So the characters in this episode are all really good, but this is Yuka's episode, and she is fantastic in this episode. The dubbing. Macy Ann Johnson is really good as Yuka. She captures Yuka's fun personality so very well, and she does really good with the emotional scenes in this episode. I really enjoyed her voice acting in this episode. And Howard Wayne is doing such a great job as Cerebro. He's just losing it, and you can tell the voice actor is having fun playing Cerebro in this episode because how much Cerebro is going crazy. He's doing a great job. So the dubbing in this episode is really good. Let's talk about the effects. Let's talk about Ouroboros. Ouroboros is a beautifully made kaiju. The cutters are awesome looking. I really love the cutters. I love the fact he's a wolf lion. He is beautiful looking. Such a cool kaiju. I love his attacks. So interesting. So fun to watch. And his fusion form, you do feel bad for him because this fusion form is clearly hurting Ouroboros. And you do really feel bad. Something was cool to see is Gamma Future with an energy cape. That was awesome looking. So the effects in this episode, the practical city effects are beautiful, and the fight scene in this episode is really good. So the effects are really good in this episode. Now let's talk about my criticism. Really the only criticism I can think of is Ouroboros' fusion form. I'm not a huge fan of it because of, well, it's just hands and a headpiece. It could have been more cooler because these are pretty cool kaijus. What do I like about this episode? I really like how Ouroboros is treated in this episode because it's really sad the fact he has to be put down and you see his soul goes to, I think, the monster graveyard. And I really love Yuka in this episode. I love solo character episodes, and this is the whole episode to shine, and she's really good in this episode. What is my final thoughts for episode 15 of Ultraman Z? This episode is really good. This episode has sad moments, funny moments, fun moments, and just really good moments in this episode, so I really like this episode. Well, that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me down below what you think of the episode. If you like this video, drop a like for this video. If you're new, subscribe. Xanafar is out.